from which point it all changed? The restrictions and the biased media houses, how did they emerge? Which point do you think it all started?
Fine. So I'll start giving a brief introduction and the role media houses actually play in shaping the democracy. Okay, India lauds for being the biggest democracy of the world, and and media being, everybody knows that media is the fourth pillar of the democracy. So whenever a democracy tries turning into an autocratic regime, it's basically the duty of the media to protect the democracy. But as we can clearly see from the Press Freedom Index as well and the Democracy Index, we are being placed into the flawed democracy category right now, and media, as we can clearly see that our rankings in the Press Freedom Index as well is falling at a rapid pace. So I do not feel confident in saying that media is actually playing its role in protecting the democracy. And being the fourth pillar, which is its duty, it is terribly failing into it. And what I feel is that the point at which it all changed, I would actually say that since early 2000, when the revolution of internet actually blogging and all actually started. From that was the point when every individual in himself herself became a media. Became a media house. That person became the media house itself. So be it you, be it me, we all are today circulating news in some form or the other. And but since the advent of 2000,
we have got access to news. We have got access to news and to read about different things, whether it is published on the mainstream or not, right? Due to the accessibility to internet. Accessibility to internet has increased, and so because of that, everybody is a media house in themselves. And apart from that, what I feel is the real change in media houses actually began in 2014 with the advent of the ruling party actually. And what was the basic shift in the changes over there was that, and I think everybody should have noted that by now, that our Prime Minister, he never sits for a press conference now. There are no press conferences of Prime Minister anymore. There are only, and he gives interview only to selected journalists. That to most of the questions, what I feel, again, it's my personal opinion, what I feel is that most of the questions are pre-scripted. So media is nowhere free nowadays. And besides that, if you look at the the digital media news channels which forecast news, they even forecast news. They do not delve into topics. Yeah, that is not relevant, I guess.
Yeah, relevant, and apart from that, they do not delve into topics which are gonna criticize the government. For example, I would say yes, Republic Now. Republic Now, okay, fine. Republic Bharat, whichever news channel, Republic Bharat. They basically, Arnab Goswami got so much into the topic of Palghar incident, but I don't think, two advocates were hired to look into that whole incident. And they mysteriously met with death, their vehicle got into some accident and they died eventually. And I don't think nobody got delved so much into that topic. Arnab Goswami was so much into the thing that those saints, those sadhus should be given justice, and he was after Sonia Gandhi's life. But I don't think that topic just faded away like that. So yeah, they do start the topic, but the point at which fault of the government is being put into picture, that topic just goes away. So that is what I feel.
Yeah, the way of presentation was not right, because the way he demonstrated the whole scenario was not correct, because the work of media is to so I guess that what triggered the whole scenario that happened to him. And talking about the instances, do you feel that a government is putting a lot of restrictions on the media house, or it is the choice of the media house to become biased like that, to present news about, like I was reading about the media houses like Aaj Tak and all of those who were once dominating before 2009, if you see, or before that era, they were neutral, they were not biased. But after 2014, they only limited their news to Modi
and BJP and how to defame Congress, or to I just was watching the Rajasthan scene where the whole breakdown was being done, that how the things are not working. It might not be the exact scenario, but they are trying to publish it like it is not happening with Congress and you can't vote for them. So these things actually make us think that whom to trust, whom to not.
Yes, that they are moreover involved in defaming somebody rather than bringing out the true story about somebody. They are more interested in defaming opposition parties rather than bringing out the flaws in our present government. Apart from that, you asked that what do you feel is media self-censoring itself, or it is being imposed by the government? What I feel is that government when emergency was imposed in 75, that was the time when government actually actually imposed restrictions on the freedom of the press. What is happening in the current scenario is that media itself is following self-censorship. Nobody is telling them to, not to speak against the government or something like that. But yes, they are self-censoring themselves, and maybe, the reasons for example, I would like to quote, and I read this article in Scroll.in, which is very much against the government. It speaks against the government. So what happened in that article, what they quoted was that Economic Times, initially they used to speak against the government, or not exactly against the government, but yes, they used to point out the flaws in whichever policies or whatever the government was formulating. But then they had some event organized, and none of the speakers from the cabinet or the people associated with influential people associated with the ruling party, none of them actually came into the conference, and none of them spoke. Means they were supposed to be the speakers in that conference, but none of them actually went over there. So in a way, they boycotted the media house just because they spoke against the government. So what I feel nowadays, what is happening is media is self-censoring itself, so that in a way that they do not come into the bad books of the government, and in a way whatever privilege they are enjoying, it actually continues. So what I feel is media is self-censoring. Nobody is telling them not to say anything against the government. And again, see, government, I would really like to talk about the EIA draft, environment impact assessment draft over here. See, the draft itself is so flawed, but I don't think it is, none of the digital media platforms are talking about it. Nobody is actually talking about it. So where is the media house actually going? See, none of the government can be absolutely, none of the party can be 100% accurate, and eventually those are people over there who are drafting those rules or drafting those norms exactly. So nobody can be 100% accurate, and they need to take public opinion regarding it, and the dates were extended beyond July only after High Court actually pressed them to do that. But nobody has been pointing out to that. None of the newspapers are printing, the flaws in that. Means the draft, whether if, anybody has read the draft, it is so foolish. It is so foolish. You can actually, means even a lame person can understand that what is the government trying to do over there.
Yes, so, which is quite wrong, because many decisions of this government has been questionable. And the decisions had been so much wrong that people have lost the faith. I don't know what is going wrong with BJP, but some like the financial advisor or someone at the top needs to be changed, because the decisions that are being taken are not correct always. Like demonetization was one of them, and other decisions are also not as well as they should be. And as a country has chosen him for the second time, and as a responsible prime minister, or as a party, as a ruling party, they should understand that they have certain responsibilities. But at the same time, I also see that the opposition is not as strong to represent a solid front to overtake that. Because if you see Rahul Gandhi, we know how defamation has been done of him, and his whole figure is just crumbled up. And the other people who are brilliant, like Shashi Tharoor, and people who are attached to like they are brilliant in their field, but they are not being given proper chance to showcase their ability in the party. So this is why these factors are limiting our choices to BJP, because वो कहते हैं ना कि अगर मोदी, so the whole scenario has been summed up to this one particular line. So I would like to talk about the online media, like the channels on YouTube, like the Quint and all of those, the Wire, and there is one more site. So all of these are trying to showcase the real scenario, I guess.
See, again, I would say that government is doing, it's not that government is doing altogether worse things or bad things only. Because, looking at the current scenario, even the pandemic, which is, at such a massive scale, at the leadership level, it is being tackled very nicely. Because I feel, look at the population we have. And though we have third highest number of cases in the world, yet we have second highest population. And look at the recovery rate. Look at the, death rate of our country. It's highly good. So when you talked about Wire or HuffPost or Quint, everything, so what I feel is that their sole purpose is just to criticize the government. See, criticism is a part. What I feel is criticism is a part of your views. You cannot just keep on criticizing a person, or a policy. There are good points in the policy as well. So, and again, if we talk about online platforms, yes, the current means in the growing trend of online media, one of the major topic which needs discussion right now, what I feel is that fake news circulation. So, again, one thing for all the news channels which are there, they have recently started, I think you too have noticed regarding it, they have recently started a section where they actually verify all the viral videos which are being posted or the viral posts which are being circulated. So I would say that, that is called responsible journalism. So that is what is happening. But when it comes to the point of the government, they are totally blindsided by it. But for the online media platform, yes, point number one, it has, it has involved, I would say it has informed every individual, means anybody, right from a ruler, means person living in the rural area to the person living in the urban area. Apart from that, rich or poor, everybody nowadays owns a smartphone. And thank God, with the advent of Jio, the internet rates have fallen so down that, it's the cheapest in the world. So yes, everybody has an internet connection, everybody has a mobile phone. So everybody is, a journalist in himself or herself. I also circulate news, you also circulate news. So social media has in a way turned every person into a journalist. And apart from that, it has inculcated in us a sense to know what is happening around the world. It's not just our country we read about. It's I think it's related to the news related to throughout the world. So yes, today a citizen is much more aware than he was, I would say, 10 years back or 20 years back, something like that. So yes, online media has played a great role in that sphere.
But somewhere we are missing a neutral channel that showcases news as well as it is not biased, because when we read the scenario of Quint, it is quite based on criticism only, and it is already in the field of defaming the government. If we go to Zee Media, it is all owned by the government side, and it is
Subhash Chandra.
And it is all based on the facts of like Sudhir Chaudhary says that वो इमरजेंसी हो रही है, काफी ज्यादा देश में वो भावनाएं फैल रही है, नेशनलिज्म फैल रहा है. He is limited to that only, and he says things I don't even understand and what he is trying to say. So if we eliminate top media houses like ABP News, Aaj Tak, Zee News, India TV, and we say that NDTV is anti-Modi and anti-government, and NDTV has already hit the bottom. So we are missing that a major media house that can just tell us about what is going on without being judgmental. And even in the online media as well, we are still lacking, because even online media is influenced by a top authority that is being in the favor or against of something.
See, right now what I feel is that the country is divided into just two groups. One is pro-government, the other is anti-government, and that is what, that is not correct. Media is supposed to be neutral, but that is what is actually lacking in our country right now. Nobody is actually giving us the true picture of what is happening, and that is means this is here what I would like to say is that we ourselves, means we have a huge responsibility on our shoulders, that we have to actually analyze that, which news is correct and which is not. The information is available, like anything today. Your mobile phone is your own encyclopedia. Just go through it, you read about it. You're gonna get every piece of information. Maybe, now it's up to you that how are you filtering, means what is right, what is wrong. Form your own opinions regarding it, and that is how I think that is how we'll have to progress. Because again, as you pointed out, that the opposition is, I don't know, lame duck right now, which is actually correct. And a democracy cannot flourish until and unless you have a strong opposition. So currently we lack that in our country, and because of that, the whole democracy is actually turning into an autocratic circus right now. So yeah, we ourselves have to be informed citizen, and internet can play a great role. Just use your brains and understand, where do you have to draw the line. Be again, what the cause in your country doesn't mean you are anti-national. So yes, that is again, we as a educated people, we have to understand it, that from which point we are gonna be anti-nationals, and from, what nationalism actually is.
Yeah, and I think that after the ruling government took the charge in 2014, the feeling of nationalism is being published everywhere, and it is said that if you are following government, then you are nationalist, and if you are not, then you are anti-nationalist, which is not correct, I guess. And even I oppose the feeling that, like the student who asked that, what if I don't stand on the national anthem? My way to express my nationalism. I guess that is also not correct, because you can't just oppose the normal circulation of the country.
See, absolutely correct. That is why fundamental rights are given to us. Now, we have freedom of speech, freedom of movement. So, like, if freedom of movement is my choice, whether I want to, you are, first of all, national anthem should not be, played in the confined spaces. You yourself are violating it. You are playing national anthem over there. And then again, it's at the discretion of the person, Baba. If suppose I'm sitting in a theater, I'm not feeling well, you are playing the national anthem, I cannot stand. So please don't judge my nationalism based on this petty thing. I'm doing a lot for my nation, and it's my choice. This nation is mine as much as it is yours. So just because you're standing at national anthem doesn't make you more dedicated towards your country than I am. So, and absolutely agreed, since 2014, somehow, that is what I said, nationalism is being associated with being pro-government. That shouldn't be there.
As a neutral citizen, what is our duty in this case? Because we are being fooled by some people and we are being challenged by someone. So we are in such a middle situation that we have to go either this side or that side. We are being forced to get off from the neutral side.
Choose a side,
Yeah. So what is our duty in this case?
Okay, again, see, first of all, okay, fine. A nation is made up of citizens. Again, democracy is for you, by you, obviously. So, nobody can actually force you to choose a side. You can be neutral. We have been neutral, I would say, till 2014. I don't know, there was much of the hype of being anti-national or, pro-national, something like that. So, yeah, we can be neutral. Education is going to play a really big role in that. Apart from that, as I said earlier, as well, you have the biggest device or you have the biggest weapon in your hand, and that is the information is available over there. read it, go through it, filter it. And one more thing, what people do is that they just, they try just reading the gist of the article, or they just read a stupid headline and start forming an opinion regarding it. Please don't do that. Just go through the whole article, because catchy headlines are always made catchy so that just to grab your attention. What is actually inside that article, please go through it, read it properly, and then form an opinion, rather than just because the headline is catchy and misleading, please don't form an opinion regarding it. Apart from that, government has started a really good initiative that before you're forwarding a message, kindly check its authenticity. So please do that, because all of us, India has the biggest youth population currently. So please utilize it, use your brains wisely, because you are the future of this country. You are being, everybody has a smartphone which they use for all their shitty things.
The WhatsApp University always sucks.
Yeah, so please, if you are enrolled into that university, please graduate, with flying colors. Read through the articles, authenticate the information which you are forwarding to other people, and then form an opinion. And again, there is no need to choose a side. You can obviously be neutral and yet, be as nationalistic as a person of the right-wing ideology or the left-wing ideology. You can still serve your nation. You can still do great things for your nation. And first of all, serve yourself, please. Until and unless you serve yourself, you cannot serve your nation. So please read, form an opinion, and then progress forward. This is what I would say.
Okay, so thanks for joining me on this podcast. It was great talking to you.
Thanks for having me. It was fun talking to you.